The first rule of logo design is don't mess with the logo. Hey everybody, I'm pretty tired right now. Just got finished putting together some sweaters for my buddy's company, and I've got this logo here that I'm going to talk about. Now, these logo, I didn't create this logo. On the left, we see the original logo that I had to deal with, and I had to fix up. Originally, when I first started working with my buddy Rob, he emailed me a low-quality JPEG of his logo, and he needed it put on t-shirts. So I took care of all that stuff, fun stuff, because this is essentially they were capital letters of their Times New Roman. Oh, I'm going to sound terrible on this one. It was pretty clear that these are just two capital Times New Roman letters. Well, things were going pretty well until because I was taking all this clothing and getting them screen printed. Everybody was happy; they were looking really good. But then I ran into a situation where I didn't have enough clothes of the right size. He was ordering hoodies. I didn't have hoodies of the right size, so I wanted to make some of these lines a little bit thicker, because instead of having this screen printed at 4 inches across, this isn't the complete logo, there was text on the side. I knew that if these letters were any smaller, or if this gap here, if this line, this area, I knew that if this line was any smaller, it would probably break as being vinyl. So I needed to thicken it up a little bit. So the number one rule of logo design is don't mess with the logo. And there is actually a great book of almost that exact title by Edge and Milligan, and I'll send a link. I'll post a link down in the description. And what I've had to do is modify the logo. Now, I did contact the customer, of course, made sure that he was aware of it. He had no problems. And so here's what I've done. Oops, I'll go back into, so I'm in Inkscape, and I needed to use the path editor. So editing the path by using their nodes. So the text was converted from editable text into a path, and I've got a previous video on that, and you can check the description down below for that link as well. And what I needed to do was start to thicken up some of these lines, so I had to join them together. Now, this is the final result, and I'll take you through this a little bit in a little bit of detail. We can see that down here the connection was pretty smooth, and if I zoom in all the way, which is something that would never really happen if I was looking at it in real life, we have this nice smooth curve at the bottom, and it wasn't as smooth up at the top. But what happened up at the top was, as soon as I pulled this line down a little, what I did was I select a bunch of these pixels, probably those nodes there, and now I can just use the cursor key to move them down or move them up. But as you can see this one move, there's that little lump, and that's what I essentially just left the way it is and didn't really do much about it, although it was a different lump. There you go. Oh, it's actually more of a lump right there. Now, maybe that doesn't bother some people, but it was bothering me. Nothing I can do about it right now, so I don't have to. If we look over here, the bar on this K is much thinner and almost stays the same thickness and consistency all the way across. And here, I actually think this improves the logo a little bit to make it a little bit wider. I decided that this was thick enough, and this was thick enough as well. But what I didn't really take into consideration was the thickness of these bars across the bottom, or the serifs. Now, I'm not too worried about that, but that will probably, because it's vinyl, that might hit me in the, come and bite me in the back later. But I did thicken this part of the crossbar on the E. So if we look back over here, there's the size of the original E in Times New Roman, and here you can see that I made that a little bit thicker. Could have been a little more careful with the curves, but what can you do? Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and move things over, and I'm going to just do a little bit of a fake animation here. I'm going to try something. I'm going to turn this one red. There's my new one. And I'm going to turn this one blue. And we're going to change the transparency on this one all the way down. Not all the way down. Pick it up like 50. 30 is good. And watch what happens when I compare them or bring them together. One's on top of the other. I'm going to switch their order. Now we go. Fix their Z order. There. Now we can see where the combination was, and red and blue make purple. So you can see that this darker area here is the original K, and this red area is where, and in red you can see where the logo type was modified. It made it a little bit thicker. So that's what I did. Not too difficult in Inkscape, and it was nice that my buddy Rob was letting me mess with his logo. And of course, remember, don't mess with the logo, and if you do mess with the logo, make sure you get permission from the owner. Thanks for this, and if you like to enjoy this video, please subscribe down at the bottom and give me the thumbs up and show YouTube that you like the videos that I'm making. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.